Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to practice solving quadratic equations by factoring. And we're very excited about it. Alright, so say we're given something like this. Say we've got x squared minus 7x equals 10. Negative 10. We'll say that. X squared minus 7x equals negative 10. Now, if you'll remember, the very first thing that we said for our strategy for solving these quadratic equations is you absolutely have to get everything on one side. Yay! I have to get everything on one side. So I need to move my 10 over with everybody else. Alright, so then I've got x squared minus 7x plus 10 equals 0. Now I'm going to do the factoring thing, which is like a reverse FOIL method. I've got x squared in the front, or x in the front, because this is an x squared. So my first two elements, these have to multiply together to get x squared. The only way to do that is for each of them to be x. This is a plus sign, which means these are the same. And since this is a negative sign, that means they're both negative. Then we need to come up with elements that multiply together to get 10, which is 1 and 10 and 2 and 5. They have to multiply to get together to get 10, but then we have to add them together to get 7. So the only one that meets that requirement is 2 and 5. So we've got 2 and 5. Alright, so we've got x minus 2. Let me try this again. So we factored this out. X minus 2 and then x minus 5 equals 0. So remember what we said? We said that if a times b is 0, then a equals 0 or b equals 0. So we're going to do that here. We have two options. We have either x minus 2 equals 0 or x minus 5 equals 0. Okay? And now we're just going to solve for x. We're going to add 2 to both sides here and get x equals 2. And then we're going to add 5 to both sides over here and get x equals 5. And those are our two answers, so we're good to go. Let's try another one. In the hang of it? So for an additional one, try 2x squared plus 7x equals 4. Okay. Now, again, we want to get everything on one side of the equation. So we're going to subtract 4 on both sides. So 2x squared plus 7x minus 4 equals 0. Now this one is probably the worst one that we're going to do here as an example. We need the first two multiply together to get 2x. So that means one of them has to be 2x and the other one has to be x. And since this is a negative sign, that means that these sides must be different. We're not really sure which one's going to be the plus and which one's going to be the minus, so we just kind of have to guess and hope we got it. So let's do a minus and a plus. Now we need two numbers that multiply together to get 4. So two numbers that multiply together to get 4, so that's 2 and 2, or 4 and 1. And when we plug them in, the outer and inner terms need to add up to 7. Okay? So basically the only way to do these is just to plug it in and kind of hope that you get it. So we'll just start with 2 and 2. We'll start with 2 and 2 because the order doesn't matter particularly. So if we did this, our FOIL would be 2x squared outer plus 4x inner minus 2x last plus 4. And that's going to be 2x squared minus 2x minus 4. And that's not right because that term's not right. So that's not going to work. Alright, so let's try 4 and 1. So with the 4 and the 1, we can actually go there and try to FOIL it again. First, 2x squared outer plus 2x inner minus 4x last minus 4. We're still not getting anything good. Okay. So we're kind of running out of options. We'll go ahead and switch and make that, beg your pardon, make that 1 and 4. We'll try foiling it again. 2x squared outer, inner, minus 4. And this is going to give us what we want. Okay, so this is what we want. Yay! Alright, so we don't need any of this anymore. So the whole point that we did this now is we have 2x minus 1 times x plus 4 equals 0. So now we have it factored, which is excellent. That's the whole point of doing this, is to get something factored. So now that we have blah times blah is 0, that means either blah is 0 or blah is 0. So this first one, to solve for x, add 1 to both sides, 2x equals 1, divide both sides by 2, and get x equals 1/2. And over here, subtract both sides 4, and get x equals negative 4. So our choices are x could be equal to 1/2 or negative 4. Super fun. So let's do one more example like this, and then I think we'll be satiated with this kind of stuff. Alright, say we got a problem like this. 4x squared minus 2x equals 0. Now we've got it sorted out, so everything's on one side, but we can't just FOIL this thing because we don't have a last. We have a first and outer inner, but we don't have a last. This isn't going to work. We've only got 2 terms. So this goes back to our strategy. Remember, we said in our strategy, somewhere along this way, that we could have either a factoring like this, like a FOIL, or we could have a factoring like this, where we just pull something out of the front. Okay, so that's actually what we're going to do here. We're actually going to pull something out of the front. So we've got 2x squared minus 2x is 0. So we need to pull something out of both of these. So what is a common factor we can pull out? We can pull out a 2x, right? So if we pull a 2x out of this first term, who's left? 2x. And if we pull a 2x out of this term, who's left? Just a 1. Remember that you have to have at least a placeholder here. This is kind of like a placeholder. If you've got 1, 2 terms here, you need to have 1, 2 terms here, okay? So don't just drop it and write a 0 or forget. Don't just say, well, I pulled out a 2x, so that's gone. It's not gone. We still have that placeholder left. We still have 2 terms up here, so we still have 2 terms down here. Okay. So now what we want to do is, again, we have blah times blah is 0. So that means either bleh is 0 or bleh is 0. Oops. Either that one's 0 or that one's 0. Those are our 2 choices. So here, to solve for x, divide both sides by 2. On this other one, to solve for x, add 1 to both sides. Divide both sides by 2. And we're good to go. So x is equal to either 0 or 1.